Just have your tax ID or business or contractor's license ready. But don't wait. The current preferred pricing benefit will end on November 15th. Visit your local Pro Desk to register now and unlock the deepest savings on the products you choose.
If you're considering sedation dentistry and want to learn more about it, Clarkson Dental can help. When it comes to your health, you want to make sure you know all the details. The highly trained professionals at Clarkson Dental have your answers. Learn more at coloradosedation.com.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. I think I'm some kind of football prophet.
Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. The holidays will be here before you know it. And for many families, that means excitement, but also stress. Between gifts, travel, and higher prices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're already relying on credit cards to cover the basics. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you might have considered reaching out to my friends at American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. That's why American Financing created the Smart Equity Loan, a simple, smart way to get your finances back on track without giving up your low mortgage rate. Unlike a HELOC, which can fluctuate with the market, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate, so you'll have one predictable monthly payment. It lets you use your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt, free up cash flow, and still keep your existing mortgage intact. There are no upfront fees to find out if you qualify. Call American Financing at 303-695-7000 or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game and the go-to spot for football season with wall-to-wall TVs, hearty eats, ice-cold drinks, and of course, those scenic views. It's a full-on experience whether you're catching college or pro games this season. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, it's Mike Evans. Restore your bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning hair with the same simple one-day treatment I receive from Dr. Tanya Pauls of Advanced Hair. Your own natural hair begins regrowing the very next day, and your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR, AdvancedHair.com.
Need a plumber? Euro Plumbing has the lowest prices in town. Rock bottom prices on whole house repipes, sewer line repairs, even water heaters. 720-500-3000.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight, taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more. DenverSports.com.
And it is Denver Sports Tonight on this Tuesday night in the Mile High City. He's Marcello Romano. I'm Will Peterson. We will roll with you for the next hour on Trade Deadline Tuesday in the NFL. Womp womp. Broncos don't do anything. Stand pat as a flurry of activity goes on around the league. Seems like the Colts tied with the Broncos 7-2. They shoved their chips all in. 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. Now, I'm not saying Sauce Gardner was a prize I wanted in Denver, but shows you the mindset of a 7-2 Indy team versus a 7-2 Denver team. We've got sound from Sean Payton about it. We've got sound from Bo Nix about it. We will dive into it
But Cello, your reaction, I know Broncos country is fired up about GM George Payton doing absolutely nothing today at the deadline and not fired up in a good way for the most part.
Well, for the most part, I mean, we've been saying it for the past couple years. At least the NFL has gotten kind of on board with the trade deadline and being more active as an overall league. But it's like, I know you said Sauce Gardner probably wasn't a piece that you were looking at or be interested in. I'd fire back with another question. Which one was the piece that you had your eyes set upon? Well,
so my eyes were fixated on Jalen Waddle and Garrett Wilson. They have been for about a month. You know that. I wrote that a month ago at DenverSports.com, and I was very frustrated that at about 2:05 today, NFL insider Jordan Schultz tweeted, the Broncos were one of many teams that checked in on Jalen Waddle but deemed the price too expensive. And then also when it comes to Garrett Wilson, the Jets had a fire sale today. They got rid of Quinnen Williams and they got rid of Sauce Gardner, two great players. Garrett Wilson could have been pried for the right price as well. I am super frustrated the Broncos didn't add a wide receiver. Those were the two names I wanted. I think both those names could have been had today, and the Broncos were too worried about draft picks to go help this team try to win a Super Bowl this season.
Well, and the place he used to call home in New Orleans kind of opened up their doors a little bit as well. I think it's kind of interesting, and I brought this up months ago. In fact, I brought it up last year. But, normally you see, at least in the NFL, you go where, like, people have relationships with one another. And I know that the Saints aren't in threatening of winning anything big this season. I don't know why Kamara wants to stay in New Orleans. Shaheed was another one that was kind of bountied about as far as like trying to bolster up this Broncos offense. I'm kind of with you. Like, listen, I'm not surprised that nothing happened, is what I'm going to say.
But are you disappointed? Because I'm disappointed.
I'm kind of like melancholy towards them. I'm kind of like indifferent to it. Yeah, well, I mean, they're 7-2 with this current roster. You're also 7-2 with Dre Greenlaw only playing 2 games so far. Like, there's a few things that you would like to see bolstered up, and I think if anything, it doesn't have to fall back on the execution.
No, because Jalen Waddle's a better football player than Troy Franklin or Marvin Mims. So the execution's going to get better when better football players are in there, and you could have had a big upgrade at number 2 wide receiver today, and George and Sean were scared to pull the trigger.
What was your price line then? If you had to say, okay, that's going to be a bit too steep for me to kind of try and climb that mountain, what do you think was being said? All right, we have interest. Obviously, there's negotiations that'll kind of start. I don't know how deep or far down the road they got with it. But what would have been your, like, I'm drawing a line in the sand here. I can't go there.
Oh, I would have given him a first-round pick.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon Stokely is on the record that he would have given a first-round pick for Waddle. I'm in the same boat because, Cello, Sean's talked about the Super Bowl all summer. What's your first-round pick if you win the Super Bowl? 32nd. Even if you go to the AFC title game, it's 28th, 29th, 30th, somewhere in that window. You go to the divisional round, it's in the mid to late 20s. That first-round pick, you got Jahdae Barron last year in the 20s. He's a nice player, but he hadn't been a superstar that's overhauled your organization. So the Broncos today said the next Jahdae Barron, or even a worse player, isn't worth it for Jalen Waddle. I don't get that. I don't buy the Broncos' logic, and I don't think their GM was aggressive enough today, and I'm annoyed by it.
I guess I think most people were probably a little thrown off because of the preseason comments. Right, the commentary of this will be, the 7th team that he's coached that he thinks could win a Super Bowl, and you're seeing other teams around the league, like Philly made some moves, to try and bolster themselves to go on a repeat tour to win another Super Bowl. If you really believe that, then why wasn't any move even why weren't you close? Because it sounds like if you listen to the way Sean says it, and I know you'll play some of the clips, it doesn't seem like they got very far along that path of making any moves. It was like maybe they kind of kicked the tires a little bit, but it wasn't like that. It was like nothing certainly wasn't imminent to happen, and it certainly wasn't like, oh, they're disappointed because they weren't able to bolster the roster.
See, that's where I disagree with you. I don't think Sean's going to go to the podium at 2:30 today and go, oh my gosh, we were so close on Waddle. That doesn't do him any good. The trade deadline has come and gone at that point. I believe the reporting more of Jordan Schultz that the Broncos did call on Waddle and were close on Waddle and ultimately backed down. And I don't like my GM and my head coach backing down when they're talking about winning a Super Bowl.
So you believe that the buck stops with George Payton still then, not Sean Payton.
Well, last time I checked, he's the GM. So I don't know. Either the head coach or the GM wasn't frisky enough today, and that bothers me.
I think if it was up to Sean and he really thought that the price was right and you could have added to it, I don't see how anything doesn't happen.
Well, nothing did happen. And to me, it's disappointing as a Broncos fan because they didn't shove all in today. And all the last 3-4 months has been all in. Super Bowl. We're a Super Bowl contender. Well, you didn't prove it today. I'm not saying they're holding pocket aces, but I think they were holding pocket jacks, pocket queens.
Do you believe they're a Super Bowl contender?
And they didn't have the guts to do it. They're 7-2. You have to believe they are. They're tied for the most wins in the NFL.
And this would be the piece that would have solidified that thought process for you?
Well, it was the piece that I've identified from the jump they needed the most help at. And let's be honest, Jalen Waddle's a household name. Garrett Wilson is a household name.
Yeah.
You know, you brought up Shaheed. At least he would have been a nice little consolation prize. He went for a 4th and 5th round pick. They didn't do anything today. Nothing at all. They told us, baby, we love Trent Sherfield and Pat Bryant.
I don't know if that was the guys that they're talking about. Maybe Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton of the like that. But I don't know, man. I really am kind of indifferent to it. And I don't know if that's because I'm not 100%. Is that like for them to be 7-2 right now? They've had a lot of things, very fortunate things happen for them. They've had a miraculous comeback victory, one that they probably shouldn't have had. You could probably even throw the Eagles game on top of the Giants game and say, this team quite possibly wouldn't be sitting at 7-2 right now.
Yeah, but on the other side of the coin, if I just play devil's advocate, they could also be 9-0. They're 2 plays away from being 9-0.
True.
Neither of their 2 losses were bad, so I just thought you had a chance to get better today, and you didn't, and that just bothers me as a Broncos fan.
I think ultimately people. I don't know that I woke up today going, dude, they're going to make a move.
Yeah, but did you start refreshing Twitter at 10 a.m.?
Yes.
Because then they started boom, 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 boom.
Like some of the bigger names were starting to fall. And when you start to see an organization like the Jets just start going, okay, we're dealing. Then, Miami's no different than the Jets right now. It's kind of that's a dumpster fire if we've ever seen one as far as how their season's gone up into this point. So could you have had him? Were you willing to kind of mortgage your future in picks? I'm not a guy that loves picks. I typically normally look at it the way that you did. Like, where would the pick fall? How much is that really going to help the team going forward? In the NFL, they're held up like gold, though.
Sure.
Picks are held up like gold. Like, it's something that, especially most of the general managers within the league, they value them. Maybe say for the guy out in L.A. with the Rams, bleep those picks. They went on and won a Super Bowl. You'd like to see your team kind of taking those steps, but you're also in the infancy of this new tenure of this organization where, yeah, last year were they ahead of schedule? Maybe. This year they've been surprised. I mean, to be at 7-2, I'm not going to argue with you there. They're 90% chance of making the postseason. Once you get into the dance, chances of you winning it obviously heighten, but it's like I would look at it more. The more disappointment I have, would be you have a chance to get better and solidify your seeding. Not so much just getting in anymore. Now you have the opportunity with Kansas City losing the game to Buffalo last week, them dropping to 5-4, to legitimately having a chance to win this division and place yourself right where you want to be when the postseason comes around in January.
Well, it sounds like 9 minutes in, you're coming around to my side, so I appreciate that. You do this job for a living. Our listeners are tuned in all the time. How long is the average Sean Payton answer to a question? Just median, mean type of guess from you.
Well, it depends. It depends on what kind of mood he's in.
Yeah, but like it's generally longer, right?
Yes.
45, 50.
Minute and a half sometimes, yes.
2.5 minutes if he's had a couple latte.
Yes.
Cello, today, Sean took 3 questions on the trade deadline. First answer was 5 seconds. Second answer was 5 seconds. Third answer was 4 seconds. He didn't want to talk about it. Now, I get it. His team didn't make any moves, and he had to go take the podium a half hour after they didn't make any moves. But let's hear from Sean Payton on the trade deadline being quiet.
I mean, George and I each day talked about different things, and that's just how it turned out.
We talk. That's just how it turned out. Here's Sean on if they got close on any trades.
No. I think we discussed a few things, but all good.
So that sounds to me like they didn't get very far at all.
But again, isn't he just playing poker? Is he really going to
I
go
know,
up there
but
and
this
go,
is
guys,
a-
at 147, I thought we had a trade for Waddle done.
We have to remember who's speaking and his personality and the ego and all of that comes along with what makes Sean Payton. And that doesn't sound to me like it was like ever even really close at all. And I get it. You're playing it close to the vest. After the fact, you're not going to come out and be like, man, we really blew it. We had an opportunity here and we missed out on it. It just doesn't sound like, it's not even sounding like he's faking it, that they were further along than they were.
And the third one is he aware of the rumors that they'd be interested in getting a wide receiver?
Yeah, I saw a lot of that. We've invested in, we like this group and where we're going.
Saw it.
That was it?
We like this group and where we're going.
Relative to what? Look. Relative to this group, they love him.
So they didn't upgrade at receiver. That was my number one priority today. Troy Franklin gets in the locker room. Guess what he has to say when asked about the team's decision not to trade for a wide receiver? Quote, hell yeah, I think it gives everybody confidence. Went on to add that Sean Payton, quote, kept his word. Fascinating quote from Troy Franklin telling the media today, Sean kept his word. That makes me think that behind closed doors, guys like Troy, maybe guys like Marvin, maybe guys like Pat Bryant, were going up to Sean and saying, we're good enough. We can do this. You don't need to go add another guy to this room. Because the second you add a Jalen Waddle, whose playing time gets decreased? Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant. That's really interesting that Troy Franklin would tell reporters today that, quote, Sean Payton kept his word.
Yeah, but you're also talking about a league, organization to organization, where there's times guys don't even know that that they're being traded until they find out from somewhere else. So I get it. I don't know that they were having many discussions with him about it, but it would probably go to further solidify the point that they didn't get very far with it at all. If he said he kept his word, that means like, hey, man, we love this group. We're not looking to do anything crazy. Probably told him unless something that they just couldn't pass up comes along for them to bite on.
Okay, but you keep saying that you don't think they got close. Let me read you the Jordan Schultz report. The Broncos and a few other teams reached out to and monitored Dolphins wide receiver Jalen Waddle, but no deal will get done. Miami's asking price was simply too high, per sources.
Yeah.
He leads with the Broncos in that. He doesn't name any other teams as reaching out and monitoring Jalen Waddle. So it sounds like you're taking Sean and Troy more closely that there was nothing to see here than you're taking Jordan as an NFL insider mentioning the Broncos.
Yeah,
and
because look at the word Jordan used, and you've said it twice already. Monitored.
Well, he said they reached out and monitored.
Yeah, like, hey, you guys got anything going on over there? And we'll keep an eye on it. If your price should come down, then we'll give you a call and see where you're at.
I think they got close. I think they got close today. And I think at the end of the day, George and Sean, we just can't be giving up first-round draft picks. And that bothers me. Because what does a 2026 draft pick help you win this year?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
No.
Those fans that are happy with it can go get their draft pick jersey at the team store tomorrow. Because that's what the Broncos have now.
And we're already getting it on the RamosLaw.com text line. Look at the picks that are on the field. George Payton has hit, and it's the reason we are here. Value the picks.
Great, man. We're no longer in a rebuild. We're in a Super Bowl window. I would agree with the text of the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I wasn't slamming the Broncos to be buyers, but is the NFL wide open or not this season? It's wide open. It's why you can,
as it sits through 9 weeks. Yeah, you're right.
You can have a parade in February, and the Broncos today said maybe we're a year away from a parade. And as a fan, I don't.
You think Sean Payton said that after the brass that he came out with, where it wasn't, I'm not the grumpy old man at the beginning of the season, but I'm an optimist, and I believe this team, as young as they are, as short as the tenure has been so far, and I have a second-year quarterback. He doesn't come in and say that, and then 9 weeks in, sitting at 7-2, go. I was over my skis a little bit for that one.
So you think it was Sean today who didn't want to pay for Jalen Waddle?
Yeah, I think ultimately it comes down to him. If you're going to break down the hierarchy for me within that organization, and listen, George Payton's had a great comeback from some of the decisions that were made earlier in his tenure as the GM for the Denver Broncos. But once Sean Payton got here, I think most decisions, I think if you had to lay it out, and I know the titles aren't there, but a lot of these guys they're stuck hand in hand at this point. And I think if Sean really, really wanted something, he would have got his way. I mean, he really, really wanted Troy Franklin, right? So much that he got up at 6 a.m, shooting George Payton a call saying, hey, we got to go up and get this guy. He got him. Like, most of the time, he's getting the guys that he wants because he believes that they can win with it. And I don't know what the asking price was, but obviously it wasn't even in the realm of what they were going to be willing to give up.
So are you going in full Sean we trust then today? That's kind of your reaction 4 hours post-trade deadline here and Sean we trust?
I guess that's how I'm being painted. I mean,
Well, you're kind of painting yourself that way,
yeah,
to
because
be fair.
it's like, this doesn't slam like, oh, they're going to win it now. I don't think the addition, even if it was Jalen Waddle, goes, oh, I'm putting them at the top of the AFC right now. I don't think it changes them appreciably, is my stance.
Woo! I think you're undervaluing Jalen Waddle. That dude's elite. He's got speed. He can bust teams over the top.
Tyreek Hill's been out for how long?
He busted the knee, a month ago or so?
And how much production has Jalen Waddle really, really increased in that absence?
Tua looks like he's shot-putting the football. Couldn't even throw a Hail Mary.
Well, we're also talking about a young quarterback here that through most of 3 quarters doesn't look all that great through those 3 quarters until it really matters, and then the magic comes in the 4th quarter.
Okay, so now it's Bo's not good enough to justify Jalen Waddle.
Because I'm being realistic about it. I just don't think if this would have happened and we're doing this show this evening, I wouldn't have come in and been like, damn, dude, watch out. They've clearly pushed all in. Watch out, rest of AFC. Watch out, NFL, because the Broncos, with the addition of Jalen Waddle, would be damn near unstoppable. I don't see it that way.
Will, real quick, the Broncos are currently 15-1 to win the Super Bowl. What do you think it would have been if they added Waddle?
Probably 12-1, 13-1, somewhere like that. They would have gotten a little baby bump.
So they go from like 9th to 9th with that bump.
Still a bump. I mean,
I was being sarcastic. It's still 9th, Will.
I get it, but we're not talking about, I don't know, Justin Jefferson walking through that door or Jamar Chase walking through that door. We're talking about a very, very good receiver who could have been had per reports, but the asking price was just too high. And the Jets thing, too. Again, if you're willing to trade Williams and Gardner, you're willing to trade Garrett Wilson.
Wasn't there a report, though, of Garrett Wilson, though, today that it was, like, absolutely not even on the table? Like, that was, like, one of the one piece that they were like, nope, he's not going anywhere, which is kind of strange.
But if you're having a fire sale, can't
I
everything be
get
bought?
it, but, hey, man, if we're going to credit Jordan Schultz for his reporting about the Broncos' interest in Jalen Waddle, we're going to have to give the same kind of credence to the report about Garrett Wilson just wasn't even available.
Well, then what about a consolation prize? Why isn't Shaheed a Bronco? Maybe that's a more realistic conversation here. Because he went for a 4th and a 5th round pick. He's a New Orleans guy. He didn't overlap with Sean, but you get the New Orleans bump, whether you overlapped with Sean or not.
But even if I'm wrong, he was undrafted.
Raheed Shaheed?
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I know he wasn't like a premium draft pick.
I want to say he came in as an undrafted. I could be wrong. You correct me if I'm wrong, but he kind of made his splash it was more kind of like the Rod Smith kind of route of becoming that. And I think it's probably a really good fit because Seattle has a definite number 1 in Jackson Smith and Jigba, right?
Yep.
And if you watch the game the other night, they focus on that guy week in and week out. I think they realize they have to get another piece because it won't be too long before everything's kind of forced to try and stop what that guy's bringing, leading the league in the NFL right now. So, no, I wouldn't have wanted. I guess I wouldn't have minded it. I would have taken it for sure. But I don't think there wasn't one player that I had highlighted and said this is the guy that gets him over the top.
Yeah, but just a 4th and a 5th round pick. I mean, that's a lot less than a 1st or a 2nd. Wouldn't it have just been a nice message to the locker room?
Is he a better player than Troy Franklin?
Raheed Shaheed?
Ceiling wise.
Yeah, he has fewer drops.
I'm talking about ceiling wise. If he reaches max potential, who's a better player?
They're pretty similar. But I still would have done it for a 4th and a 5th. I mean, doesn't it send a good message to your locker room? Like, boys, we're adding. We're all in. Because I know people have said, well, you can't get rid of players, right? Because that sends the wrong message. Like, why are we selling when we're 7-2? But draft picks are just anonymous college dudes. No one knows who these picks would have been or wouldn't have been. I think if you walked around the Broncos locker room today and said, hey, you guys added a pretty dynamic playmaker from New Orleans for a couple mid-round picks, the guys would have looked at each other and go, ooh, the fellas upstairs believe in us. Sean believes in us. Greg Pennard believes in us even more. He gave the green light on this trade. I think it could have sent an appropriate message to the locker room that you just talked about how Indy's adding, contender. Philly's adding, contender. Broncos, are you a contender? Are you not? Well, you told your players today, yeah, we're a contender, but we're not going to give you guys anything else.
You could look at it the flip way, too, that they believe in what they have already, that they weren't going to go and overspend to bring a piece in that they don't know what the production's going to be there. I mean, you're also giving your locker room a pretty huge bump in confidence if you're saying, we scoured the market and we didn't find anything that was going to make us appreciably better.
Well, now you sound like Bo Nix, who had a really interesting answer today on the Broncos not making any moves at the trade deadline.
It's great. I mean, obviously, if there's a need, you want to get it, but we feel like we got all the pieces, and so sometimes when something like that happens, it shakes things up, and we got something good going, and we just want to keep riding this wave and finding ways to win.
All the pieces, something good going, keep riding this wave. QB1 definitely happy, at least at the podium. We don't know privately, at least at the podium, that the Broncos did not make a trade today.
And you're also looking at it just from like the positive side, Will, is like, I mean, you're a hockey guy.
Sure.
You remember when the Avalanche brought in Teemu Selanne and Paul Kariya, and they had the most talent in the league, and it didn't work out. There's plenty of times where we could look back in the history of sports and saying, hey, they made this addition, and the winner probably of free agency was probably the Dallas Cowboys, and they probably won't even make the playoffs, Will. Everyone else was a loser. Who else is a winner besides, you could say, the Colts, and going out and acquiring Sauce Gardner to kind of shore up that defense. But the only other team that was really active was the Dallas Cowboys, and we saw what they looked like last night.
Well, the Eagles added Phillips from the Dolphins, who was pretty prized as well.
But seriously, after today, isn't that probably story number 3?
Yeah, it is story 3, but also the Cowboys get a little asterisk because Jerry's just going to Jerry, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gave up the first-round pick he got from Micah Parsons to acquire Quinnen Williams from the Jets. I don't know, man. I think that for the first time in a long time, I can't sit here and tell you, it's going to be the Chiefs in the AFC. And the Ravens and Bills are going to be right there. I think all those teams are going to be in the mix. But I think Denver, as we sit here today on November 4th, has as good a chance of anyone to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. And now you don't have an opportunity to make your roster any better between now and the postseason. Today was it. And the Broncos told us all we needed to know. They think they're good enough to go to the Super Bowl with this current team.
Do you believe that?
If everything breaks their way, yeah. Because when you have an elite defense like Denver does, and you seemingly have magic and pixie dust in these fourth quarters, I do. But I also think if you go into an AFC divisional game or an AFC title game and you're down 21-3 or 24-10, you're not going to pull it off. It's just not going to happen in that kind of setting.
I think it says a couple things. One, they are happy with who they have on this roster, and two, I don't think they believe they've peaked yet. Now, there's a couple things that you have to keep in mind with that, Will, is number one, you keep putting your defense in situations like they have over the first 9 weeks. At some point or another, it's going to strike midnight, and that defense is going to get a little bit overworked. Now, I get it. There's a lot of teams out there that have offense or defense plays majority of the snaps. But for the Broncos, we saw what happened last year down the stretch. The defense was phenomenal up until about Thanksgiving. Am I right?
Correct.
From that point on, it was, and even early this year, it wasn't like phenomenal. Now, they've kind of bounced back, but you're playing with a little bit of fire there that ultimately I think they believe they can be a lot better offensively, and they believe this group, the growing pains have been a lot longer than we all want them to be, but they believe that they can get there.
I hope so. Sean and George clearly sent a message today that they didn't need to make a deal. The Broncos stand pat at the NFL trade deadline. All right, coming up next, we just got the top 10 in the college football playoff first committee rankings of the year. We'll bring those to you. Plus, believe it or not, the Broncos and Raiders play in 48 hours. Cello and I will start to look ahead to the Silver and Black at Empower Field at Mile High.
After a crushing loss on the road to Utah, the Buffs returned home and got blown out by Arizona. With the season pushed to the brink, will Coach Prime turn things over to Julian Lewis? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Join Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan in Modelo at Mile High Station on Thursday, November 6th from 4 to 6:15 p.m. for the Fan Football pregame show. Get your head in the game with orange and blue face painting and ice-cold Modelo. Modelo, brewed for full-time fans.
Hey, Stokely here, and let me tell you, fall golf is the best golf Colorado has to offer, and it's not too late to get fully dialed in for the last few months of the season. At Embers Golf in Westminster, they're not just selling golf clubs, they're crafting a journey for golf lovers like you. It's a boutique-style shop, family-owned, with 2 hitting bays, all the major brands, and fully upgraded custom shafts. Come in for a full bag fitting. Trust me, there's nothing else like it around. Embers Golf, where your golf journey begins.
At Postman Law, we're not your typical injury firm. Our lawyers have won at the U.S. Supreme Court, gone head-to-head with giants like Uber and Amazon, and recovered billions for clients. When you've been injured, having the right lawyer matters. PostmanLaw.com. Others promise. Postman delivers.
Call 844-POSTMAN. Attorney advertising.
Football is here, and Fitness Gallery's fall football sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit any of our 7 stores from Denver to Fort Collins and score big before the sale ends.
I should have had Done Right do it. Don't be that person that says this after ordering your remodeling project. Hi folks, Dan Cicchini, owner of Done Right Kitchens and Baths, Windows and Doors. Simply put, we make people happy by being particular, just like you. 800-362-8370.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids are going to grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Well, thanks to Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices are going to be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, no strings attached. So even though your kids will grow up and you still won't understand what 6-7 means, your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. All with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
This is Jeff for Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Greg.
Hi, my name is Greg. I've been a patient of Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic for over 10 years. I noticed that I was really tired. I was lethargic. I didn't sleep really well, and I was overweight. My waist was 4 inches over what it should have been. It was really difficult for me to lose the body shape I didn't like. And of course, my marriage, yes. No man in their 40s wants to have low libido in their marriage. I'm really thankful for this therapy because it just makes me feel the man I want to be, active at home, everywhere. If you're feeling like I was, call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today and get checked. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Thanks, Greg. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
Appreciate all the reaction on the RommelSaw.com text line 303-713-1043. Can't read them all on air, but I promise I read them all as they come in. The 4174 Butch says the Broncos had a great chance to improve their odds of getting to the Super Bowl, giving up a couple of picks for Waddle, and they did nothing. I am completely disgusted. So Butch agrees with me. Other people, are you guys happy about anything? Yes, I promise we are happy. The 7364 says you're trashing
This when you do not know what the asking price was or their efforts, out of line with the information. The information is that the Broncos called on Waddle and didn't pull the trigger, so that's the information.
And all we have to do is speculate. They're not going to tell us what it was.
Yeah, I mean, we played Sean's 3 answers today. Didn't learn a lot. 6261 says you're in first place in the AFC West over halfway through the season, tied for the best record in the NFL, et cetera, et cetera. What extreme move does Will think is necessary? I said it many a times, a number 2 wide receiver. I thought they had a chance today and didn't do it. The 2898, Sean and Bo struggle getting the ball to the playmakers already. You were hinting at that a little bit.
Execution.
Would Jalen Waddle really change the quarterback having trouble thus far and the play calling leaving something to be desired?
No, and ultimately it's like we've said it, and I think Bo would even say it himself, like he's got to play better, especially earlier in those games. So we can credit him for all of the magic that happens late in games and how clutch he is down the stretch. But if you're better in the first 3 quarters, you're probably not relying on those type of cardiac kid kind of comebacks. So
John chimes in and says you don't give up a first rounder for a number 2 receiver. Olave would have been worth it, but adding another number 2 isn't the flex you think it is. All right, I can buy that a little bit, John. But I think Jalen Waddle opposite Cortland Sutton could sort of flash like he and Tyreek flashed a couple years ago when things were really good in Miami. I mean, when things were good in Miami, Jalen Waddle was dynamic.
Yeah, he was up there. I mean, that was when Mike McDaniel first got there, it was everything as advertised. It was like that new kind of air raid type of offense with the speed and just kind of going careless with it, throwing the ball up and letting those guys go out and make plays. But it hasn't been like that of late. And I agree with you. A lot of that comes down to the injuries that Tua has suffered, his play of late. They're talk about a clunky group like that. They got rid of their GM, but like there's going to be a complete fire sale at the end of the season in Miami.
You would think so. All right, the top 10 in the college football playoff rankings has just dropped in the last 20 minutes. I will run through it real quick and then get reactions from Cello. We will start with Colorado. They are not ranked. Not ranked, Cello.
Thanks. Dang it.
Number 10
what about CSU?
Didn't quite crack it. Number 10 is Notre Dame. 9 is Oregon. 8 is Texas Tech. 7 BYU. 6 Ole Miss. 5 Georgia. 4 Bama. 3 Texas A&M. 2 Indiana. And Ohio State gets the number 1 spot at this point in the first edition of the 2025 college football playoff rankings.
Not any real big surprise. I guess the only one that you brought up when I came back in from the break was Memphis being a part of that discussion, and they're unranked. So kind of similar to last year where who were the Cinderellas last year? It was SMU, and it was Indiana, actually. But Indiana's sitting up solid at the 2 spot right now.
So Memphis, if the playoffs started today, would be the 12th seed, playing number 5 Georgia, even though they are not ranked in the poll. You and I did. I'm having deja vu. You and I did this show last year, and we begged it. Please make it make more sense. Please make it simpler. Not simpler when you reveal your first rankings and tell me, hey, Memphis is unranked, but here's the bracket. They're the 12th seed because they would be a projected conference winner.
Let me ask you this. How far down of the top 12 can actually win it? Who's the last team on that list that you're like, man, I could see them, if they got hot, they could go on and win it?
I think Notre Dame at 10. I think any of those 10 I read you could win it.
I don't think Notre Dame's there, but I could be wrong. I mean, they had a tough schedule at the beginning of the year and obviously have righted the ship. I don't know that I'm still 100% on board with Ohio State being just hands down the number 1 team in the nation.
Would you have flip-flopped Ohio State and Indiana? Does Indiana have the stronger resume?
No, and they, like that one for me, you have to see it. Like, listen, they play well. They went up to Oregon, beat Oregon. but their schedule down the stretch, they have it pretty easy for the rest of the way in Indiana. We'll see how good. I mean, I know Signetti's like, go ahead, Google me. I'm a good football coach. We'll see that kind of play out as the college football playoff gets going, but I wouldn't put them ahead of Ohio State. I'm just telling you, I wouldn't be shocked if like a team like Georgia or Oregon was able to beat that team, or one of those two teams makes a run all the way to the national championship game.
Your first-round matchups as they stand right now would be Memphis, Georgia. Doesn't do anything for me. Oregon, Texas Tech. Yeah, I'd probably tune in. Virginia, Ole Miss. That doesn't do anything for me. And Notre Dame, BYU. Yeah, I'd probably tune in. So 2 of the 4, at least to me. What about to you?
I'd probably say 3. I agree with you on the Memphis, Georgia one, but the Ole Miss is fun to watch. I think they're a very entertaining team to watch, and I don't know much about Virginia at all. That one's surprising to me.
Well, they are somehow a conference leader at this point in time. I guess they're leading the ACC. Dante Gomez, big college football guy. You got a thought on this?
Yeah, I do. Not exactly the matchups we were talking about there, but the committee gave the Big 12 a lot of respect here. Every team ranked in the rankings here is ranked higher in the committee's rankings than the AP poll. So Utah,
good observation.
Yeah, so Utah's higher, BYU's higher, Texas Tech is higher. So I think, and Texas Tech 8-1, Oregon 7-1. I think a lot of what we've seen in the past is that Big 10 SEC bias. However, similar records, and they're giving the nod to the Big 12 team. So I think, which I would too. I think Texas Tech has proven more than Oregon has so far in this season. So I like the rankings, and I think they gave the Big 12 a lot of respect.
Well, that game would be in Lubbock and not Eugene if this bracket held. We obviously know we've got a long ways to go. But yeah, I like it. And just another reason it's disappointing that CU is so bad if it's going to be a year that the Big 12 is going to get respect and Colorado's not in these conversations at all. All right, Thursday night, 24 hours from now, I'll be doing DST. 48 hours from now, I will be watching Broncos and Raiders. You'll be in the building at Empower Field at Mile High. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you neutral to a Thursday night game? Can't believe we're 48 hours from kickoff.
I love it, man. At this point of the year, this is kind of when they start happening anyways, with Thanksgiving right around the corner. So I think, listen, going into it, you would say they should come out of this game with a victory, but I think Vegas they looked a lot better last week than they had for majority of the season. And the Broncos this season, save for the Bengals game and the Dallas game, every game has kind of been a dogfight. So it's a divisional opponent. I was hoping we'd get to go in and watch like a 44-24 type of win like they did against the Cowboys. I'm not really seeing that happening. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than people want or expect it to be.
Yeah, that was my column today at DenverSports.com of, the Broncos can't overlook this short week and get trapped, because 10 days from now, 11 days from now, 12 days from now, whatever it is against the Chiefs is going to be the biggest game they've played since Super Bowl 50. And I know we've thrown that around a lot, and people may say, oh, you're being hyperbolic. You got a chance in that game to potentially go to 9-2 and send the Chiefs to 5-5. I mean, that game's just going to be massive. Ticket prices are going to be through the roof to get in the door that day. And these guys are human beings too. It is just nature to overlook the Raiders and start thinking about the Chiefs. And unfortunately, you can't just circle in a W in the NFL. I have the exact same thought that you do, is that this Raiders game could be little contested, little difficult. Brock Bowers is a stud. Broncos haven't been able to guard tight ends for years and years. I just hope that the players aren't thinking about the massive showdown with Kansas City and overlooking this game on Thursday.
I don't think they will be. I think Sean Payton will have them focused on the task at hand, because Kansas City's coming off a bye in that Week 11 matchup. Am I right?
Yeah, they don't play this weekend, and Andy Reid we know is a master.
So that's like, you mess around and drop this game, and then we know how good Andy Reid and the Chiefs are coming off of a bye. Like, that's going to be, you're going to have your hands full with a Chiefs team that's kind of at that point, if they end up losing that game and the Broncos do win on Thursday night, like you said, they'll be sitting at 5-5 through 10 weeks. They're going to have to go on some crazy run down the stretch in which they'll have to play the Broncos again on Christmas night, I believe. So, like, listen, there's a lot more writing on this game than it's just like, hey, they're a bad football team. You guys are, tied for the NFL with record-wise. You should go out and handle your business. You got to you got to come to work on Thursday night.
You absolutely do. And how much does Bowers scare you? Because he scares the bejesus out of me, especially with Alex Singleton really struggling in coverage this year. Bowers just tore up Jacksonville for 3 touchdowns, 127 yards. He's already a superstar in this league. He just is. The Raiders are a bad football team, but he's a superstar.
Who's been throwing him passes in his short, tenure in the NFL? He had Gardner Minshew, he had Aiden O'Connell, and he had a bad Geno Smith, who I think still leads the league in interceptions right now. But it's like he's putting up numbers, and he hadn't really been 100% healthy going up until like last week. I think he got hurt early and hadn't really been the same, but last week he looked like he was back. So yeah, that's a problem that the Broncos have had for, dude, as long as we've been covering the team.
Totally.
Tight ends have killed the Broncos. And the Raiders sometimes in the past decade, we even go back to when McDaniels was here, had the Broncos numbers a couple times. So it's like you don't want to lose that. This is like, you remember when I think Charlie Fry was the starting quarterback for the Raiders?
That's way back. Yeah.
He comes in and beats a Broncos team they had no business beating. Those kind of things where just play clips of that. Like, you mess around, this league, it'll humble you real quick.
Well, and I'll give Richie Carney a shout out. He's always told me weird things happen in 2 types of games. 1, overseas. We saw that this year, 13-11 against the Jets in 2 short weeks, Thursday Night Football. Plus, it's still a rivalry. May not be the rivalry it was a decade or 2 ago.
It's not
but
his hump.
There's still some hatred, or a lot of hatred between silver and black and orange and blue. There's just a lot of factors, Cello, when I look at this spread, for example, that it's 9.5, 10 points. I have a hard time envisioning this being a laugher on Thursday. I think this is going to be a close, nail-biter type game down to the wire.
Oh, man. We have another segment before we can give a prediction, but I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I'd love for it to be like just a walk in the park. I'm going to be there. Be there with the family. I want to enjoy it. I don't want to have to be like biting my nails going into the fourth quarter, but something tells me it's going to be a little bit closer than we think going into it.
Well, yeah. Do you realize, and I know you do, but I'm just sort of rhetorical question here. 4 of the 9 games the Broncos have played this year have ended on a walk-off field goal. Almost half.
Yeah.
4 of the 9. And let's be honest, it's really 5 because they were 1 play away from the Jets attempting a walk-off field goal in London.
Yep.
I mean, that's crazy. I don't know if I'm predicting you're going to see another walk-off field goal one way or another on Thursday, but I do think this is going to be closer. I think a lot of folks are saying, yep, Broncos are 8-2, bring on the Chiefs. Let's just pump the brakes on that a little bit.
Yes.
All right, we will give Broncos and Raiders predictions, or at least Cello will. I'll be back with you tomorrow night on the other side. Plus, Russell Westbrook was back in town and revealing a lot about the Nuggets last night. You'll hear from Russ next.
After another fourth quarter comeback, has Bo Nix proven that he has the it factor?
I'm confident Bo's going to continue to get better. This offense is going to continue to get better, and you're going to see more complete 60-minute efforts from this offense. But you know what? It is so good to know right away that we have a quarterback here who seems to have the clutch gene.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Gobble, gobble, gobble! Gobble, 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 gobble! Oh, man, I do a terrible turkey impersonation. Hey, everybody, Dan Jacobs from Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040. Those of you that listen to the Dan Jacobs Show know that I just love the holidays. But I also know these holidays in particular can be really tough on a lot of people, whether it's the government shutdown, inflation, the economy, whatever it is, or some people just have a hard time during the holidays as it is every single year. It's just a hard time of year for them. As always, we want to be here for you. If we can help out with a little bit of that with free food and groceries, we would love to have you any first or third Thursday of the month. Come on out to Eastern Hills Church at Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road. We're even doing smoked ham and turkey this month in honor of Thanksgiving. So if you need it, anybody, no questions asked. You just pull up and pop the trunk. 4 to 6 p.m., Eastern Hills Community Church, every first and third Thursday, Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road.
Hey guys, boy Stink here today about my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if he can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house, all cash, and you can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-900-4433, 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. If you want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone,
Welcome to AutoZone.
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets the Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or play. Stop, opt out. Terms and conditions apply to the earnings promotion.
Do you have caregiving experience as a parent, teacher, nanny, coach, or in another similar role? Hop Skip Drive is looking for experienced caregivers who want to help students in their community by driving them to and from school. Earn up to $50 per ride with Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion, all while helping your community. If you have your own vehicle that is no more than 10 years old, a clean driving record, and at least 5 years of caregiving experience, you could become a Hop Skip Drive care driver. Just text STUDENT to 323232 to get started right now. Hop Skip Drive gives you the flexibility to set your own schedule and earn competitive pay. It's simple. Drive in your free time and make a real difference for students right in your neighborhood. Don't wait. Text STUDENT to 323232 right now. Text STUDENT to 323232 and start earning up to $50 per ride during Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion period. That's STUDENT to 323232. Text STUDENT to 323232 now.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Joel Klatt, the nation's leading voice in college football, joins Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth every Wednesday morning. Presented by Groove Toyota. Here we go. Tune in at 8:10 for exclusive insight, bold analysis, and maybe just a hint of shenanigans. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents Denver Sports Tonight.
Hey everyone, in honor of Veterans Day, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan and Foundation Cadillac are giving a veteran a year of oil change service as a small thank you for their service. To nominate someone you know, head to denversports.com/veteran. That's denversports.com/veteran. To all of our nation's veterans, we at Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, thank you for your service. Very cool. A year of oil change service as a small thank you. Definitely go nominate someone that you know. Marcello Romano, Will Peterson hanging out with you on this Tuesday night. Did you catch any of that
Nuggets game last night. Russell Westbrook back at Ball Arena.
I did. I think more of the story was basically of him after the fact saying, they told me not to take the option. They told me they didn't want me. So it's like the breakup, and it makes sense, and I get it. It's like if you're not feeling like you're wanted, and with the moves that the Nuggets made, he's not going to be sorely missed. I mean, there was times last season where it was great with Russ, but there was also times that it would make you kind of pull your hair out a little bit. So, I thought it was the Nuggets. I'll ask you this, because the Avalanche, I think they were a favorite to win the cup. And I don't mind if they're not going to be have the best record. But when you look over at Oklahoma City, they haven't slowed down at all in the NBA. They've started with a 7-0. Nuggets are sitting at 4-2. Ultimately, we think that that's going to be kind of like the Western Conference Finals, but you'd like to have home court advantage. So these types of games, some of the ones that they've dropped early in the year, the one to Golden State, which they should have won, and then kind of the surprising one last week with the Trailblazers was not one of those ones that that was an easy one to swallow at all.
No, because both their losses, you're right, they could have won. And the Golden State game, Steph did Steph things, and they kind of gagged it. But the Portland game, I mean,
bad calls.
Yeah, Jokic got mauled, and they called a jump ball. And then the league comes out with this phony baloney 2-minute report telling us whether or not the officials got it right, and they doubled down and said they did. So, yeah, I mean, it's a bummer because no one wants to standings watch or scoreboard watch in October or November. But if Oklahoma City's going to win another 65, 70 type games, then you can't be losing games to Golden State that you should have won, and you can't be losing games to Portland that you should have won, so it was nice to take care of the Kings.
Were you surprised by his comments afterwards?
Well, let's hear him real quick. Russell Westbrook about the Nuggets after the game and his return to Denver.
That was great. Yeah. I guess other people didn't.
Was it them who did not? I do think there was a report or a speculation that they had sort of...
The speculation, the truth is that they didn't want me back. It ain't up to me.
Yeah.
It's all right, though. God always has a plan. Be patient. Not up to me. They don't want me. That's okay. Somebody else do.
It is a player option. Would you have considered picking that up even if they didn't necessarily want you back?
Well, they told me not to.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't go anywhere I'm not wanted.
Didn't want me back. They told me not to pick up the player option, and I don't go anywhere I am not wanted. All pretty strong comments from Russ, but I appreciate, Cello, that Russ always keeps it real, and I believe him. I think he told the truth last night post-game.
Were you surprised, considering it was kind of Nikola Jokic who was kind of waving the flag saying, let's bring this guy in? You think 1 year of dealing with Russ was enough for the – obviously, within the organization, I think he tired a lot of people out. But with Nikola Jokic kind of being the guy saying, hey, I think we can make something work with this guy, I think kind of just a little surprising. They're like, yeah, losers take the walk. Get on going, man.
Yeah, he's kind of thinking – I think what you're getting at here is if Nikola had gone to the new front office and said, hey, I want him back, they may not have nudged him out the door, kind of kicked him out the door like they did.
Exactly.
So maybe even Nikola was like, oh, okay, I've ridden the Russell Westbrook roller coaster. I'm good.
Yep.
You know what my conclusion is? I don't think Russell W's are going to work out in Denver.
No, they haven't. And even with him, I mean, it was a lot more successful than a lot of people thought he would be joining the Nuggets last year. But still, like, you think about some of those missed layups down the stretch or bad decision-making down the stretch where probably games that you could have won. And who knows, Michael Malone could have maybe still been here, but that's not the way it played out.
No, it's not. And Russ is back with a bad Kings team, but he had a good game last night. He went off for 26, 12, and 6. Thought he was the best player on the court for Sacramento, kept it competitive, but Denver wins 130-124. All right, 2 predictions that I need from you. Because we will not be together tomorrow night. First, Avs and Lightning tonight, 2022 Stanley Cup rematch. Scott Wedgwood, not Mackenzie Blackwood in net. Who you got?
Avs 4-2.
Okay. I like it. Does it still give you like memories of the Cup, or has it just been too long now?
I think it's that's faded for me now.
I do too. I'm going to take the Avs tonight, 5-3. National TV game should be high scoring. And then you're going to the game, man. Thursday night, Broncos Raiders. I'll offer a prediction tomorrow, but I want to hear your prediction. Does Denver get to 8-2?
Yeah, I don't think it's quite as clunky throughout the first 3 quarters. I do think it's probably closer than most people think, but give me the Broncos 23-16.
Big Will Lutz night? 23. How do we get to 23? Maybe a missed extra point.
There you go.
All right, Cello will be there. It was a blast. For Dante and Cello, I'm Will. It's DST on the Fan.
This Veterans Day, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan needs your help as we look to give back to those who have served their country. Teaming up with Foundation Cadillac, Denver Sports 104.